Hey, happy Thursday, guys. It's Jordan. I'm here to talk about a little bit of art stuff. So, I want to talk today about joy and purpose, and I have notes here, so I'm going to try to not get in the weeds. So, the biggest thing I want to talk about is artists' joy is like, without getting guru like about it, is artist joy in all other emotions, even whenever you're in like a horror type scenario, like in when I draw like anguish and stuff. And there's a joy in drawing that is, even if it's really twisted and messed up in any type of creation, that is, what gets me through anything I do. Um, and this is going to be kind of high concept here, but whenever I I actually saw like a tweet from the Pope of all things, and I'm not religious. But it was like about how important writers are, which is very sweet, and how it's like important for writers and by extension artists to like deliver the truth to people, and not in like a religious way, but in a sense of writing is a divine act, and it was phrased like that, and I took it that way. I think that's what drives me to keep working in writing, is that I feel like a genuine sense of gratitude and joy even when I draw the most twisted stuff. And I'm drawing Lena right now, which isn't very twisted, but she's great. The thing is, that is a sense of purpose that I get that kind of makes it so when I'm drawing someone getting ripped in half in anguish, it's not like making me upset to get back to the canvas, because I know the story is going to be important, and I know I'm doing something that at the end of the day brings me solace and joy, even if the story is dark, because a lot of my stories deal with dark things, but that's how it kind of gets out of me without making me feel like I'm being drowned by it, if that makes sense. Because that's the biggest thing that stops me some days from getting back and working, is feeling self-conscious, like maybe there's no point, or I'm going to make it do a bad job. But I think at the end of the day, the more I draw for the sake of it, and less for like the end goal of the illustration even, the more I'm like, oh, and I can look at flaws and things, like even this Lena that I'm looking at right now as I record this, and be like, but I'm proud of this though. And be like, I had fun drawing it, which is the biggest thing, I think there's, try not to as much, oh my god. And that's the most bloopers you'll get here, but the idea is that even when things aren't going well, like if like your channel isn't doing well, or your art isn't getting the recognition you want, or your friends aren't really saying, oh, these are awesome, if you're kind of getting swept under the rug, which I've experienced all that, and not intentionally, like no one was trying to like silence me or silence my art, but the biggest thing is the joy of doing it. It's going to really, really, really be what gets you through those times, to the times whenever people start really realizing like, oh, you're actually pretty good at this. Because those things on the other side of that, like, it can be very, very like not under your control, which is a big thing. It's just not getting upset about things. I mean, you can get upset. I don't want to tell people not to get upset. It's the idea of like getting upset, understanding, accepting the emotions, and then moving forward and being like, well, I can't wait to draw tomorrow. And that's kind of what's getting me through. Doing these comics has been amazing, because I'm very passionate about these comics, but it's been a long time coming since I've had the confidence to draw these comics, and streaming has been a huge part of that. So finding the joy in comics has almost been like a communal thing, like having friends who are in comics, friends who are writing comics, friends who are coming up in comics, friends who are professionals, friends who are like I'm giving some wisdom to, if I can call this wisdom. That has been a big part of the joy of comics for me, and the joy of drawing has been the communal element. It's helped me find more joy in the act of drawing, because it forces me to take my time, which is better. And oh yeah, this is when I started adding the halftones. Just to take in a quick aside, started using halftones again, and oh my god, I love it. But yeah, it's like the coloring portions of things has been a huge element of joy for me, because I just really love my colors. I'm finally starting to see what people see, because when people praise my colors, I haven't praised, but like just say, oh, you do really good colors, I never really saw that until relatively recently. I think with the most recent comic pages, like The Engineer, I think those colors are really awesome. So it's very interesting to like find that sense of joy in the process, even in something like Anguish, which is so dark and depressing that it's remembering like I'm bringing these characters to life, and that at the end of the day is a joyful thing. I think for the second drawing, I'll kind of focus more on finding a sense of purpose. So whenever this is getting towards the end here. Yeah, I think I changed the liner colors a few times. I definitely did. It was cool. I think if I went back, I'd change the size of her right arm, but I'm kind of against doing that. Anyway, so purpose. The purpose is a big concept. We're going to talk about purpose with a lowercase p this time because I want it to feel like how do you remember whenever like a drawing isn't going your way or a project isn't going your way? Like, how do you keep moving forward? And yeah, joy's a part of that, but also like having a sense of why do you think that drawing this is important? Is it because you would like it, which is probably the strongest one, because that is kind of unshakable. I just like doing this. I really want to get to that. That's like the purest way to do it is I like this, so I'm going to keep doing it. Or is it, do you have a sense of some form of this is important from a more, personal belief system? And, as I said before, not religious, but I certainly have like a certain spiritual belief around creating. And I think that creation is like a primal act for humans and a very personal act for people. And that's kind of where my purpose comes from, is that I feel like I'm fulfilling some form of like primal human duty. Again, not to get guru-like here. It really is starting to feel like I'm giving a sermon a little bit, so I'll try to make it a little less like that. It's not my intent. But I always feel like drawing is kind of like what I'm supposed to do. Like and like I get up and, drink water, drink coffee, eat breakfast, draw. And drawing has like helped me be a better person, like it's regulated me in a way that I think it's given me this purpose of, even if it wasn't going to be a career for me, I would still have to do it. I would still have to draw. There is a sense of, but I honestly don't know if I had a choice. And this is more so getting poetic about it. But I think that finding out like why do you draw and analyzing that a little bit from a psychological standpoint, or even if you're spiritual from a spiritual standpoint, but mainly a psychological standpoint of understanding what it helps you work through, if it's that kind of thing, or understanding the purpose behind it. Because for me, it was just like about getting better at drawing. Felt like I was discovering something that like a marble statue. Like I had this slab of talent, and I wanted to know what was underneath it all. And that is, I still feel like I'm uncovering the angel in the marble. I think that is the best analogy I could put towards it. Is it's really like being a sculptor, except I'm not a sculptor, but it's like being a sculptor and for my talent. And I think if everybody could view it that way, it might not work for some people. Everyone's different. But if more people could view it as that, instead of being like, oh, I'm bad right now, I should just stop, or I'm bad, so I'm going to pretend I'm good, it's just like, just understand that there's something noble about being like needing to uncover your talent and needing to nurture your talent. That is very noble, and kind of like Paarthurnax from Skyrim. Is it better to be born great or to aspire to greatness? That is a... Oh yeah, and I forgot, I did a first pass of colors on this. This is an aside, and it's not good. I don't think my first colors are good, so you can see kind of how I mess up here. But I just wanted to stop and say that while I have a moment. But yeah, we're starting to get to the end of this. I think we're gonna do my second pass of colors. They're still in the first pass of colors here, but we're gonna do the second pass pretty soon. So I'll start to wrap up and try to see where I want you to take this, where I think you should take this. You do not have to take my advice. It's sometimes very bad. The idea here is not to be like if you're not enjoying your art, if it's hard, you're doing it wrong. No, it should feel kind of grueling at points. Like there are times where you're going to want to drop the pencil, want to drop the stylus, whatever. The idea is that you don't stop forever. You know, you remember that there's something that you want to do that's important to say. That's something no one else can really say it, and maybe someone else can say it, but they're not doing it. So you got to do it, you know. So, and you got to remember that it is at the end of the day. Don't let that importance get. It's a balance between that and remembering that this is fun. It's drawing. It's basically playing pretend. And that's what this drawing kind of is, with Grayson kind of dancing here. And I took away any of the like the bun in the back, and I made sure you could see her full face, and I changed the colors to be a little more earthy to kind of encapsulate that idea of, you know, Grayson's a very purposeful character, but she's also very joyful. And I think that this this drawing really encapsulates that. I think y'all really enjoy the story when it comes out, and that's what kind of helps me get through it. And I think my art is already helping people in a lot of ways that, you know, I'm very humbled. I never thought it'd have that impact. So it really means a lot to me. It really means a lot to be able to see you guys every day, and talk about art, and to have a community that I think is growing and really, really invested in, you know, each other and the pursuit of artistic sentiment. But yeah, hopefully that helps. It's kind of a bunch of a word vomit, but, you know, I think it'll help. I really hope it does. Yeah, I just like every single word in the last 20 seconds. Oh my gosh. But here's a little oversight. These will be on my page too, so you can take a look at them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a stream. Bye-bye. Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum-bum.